Okay, I'm going to have to record this on my phone because for some reason my mic wouldn't connect with my laptop and I couldn't be heard when I tried to live stream. So, real quick, I'm going over some bullshit that NASA has put out. I'm just going to go over some proofs, data that you can find on NASA that completely contradicts other data you can find on NASA. So, if you're in doubt after this as to whether you can trust anything NASA says, I don't really know what to tell you. So before I start, I'm not a flat earther. I'm not a round earther. I don't believe there's significant evidence to show what shape the earth is. If there is any, we haven't been shown it. That said, I'm going to go over two of the things that I find the most ridiculous about NASA. The first is if you go to the official NASA website, so nasa.gov, you look up what the closest distance any probe has gotten to the sun, and it will say the closest probe came within 26 million miles. So if it was closer than 25 million miles, they would have put within 25 million miles. So it was farther than 25 million miles away from the sun. Now, if you go elsewhere on nasa.gov, the same website, they will tell you the core temperature of the sun is like 20 something million degrees Fahrenheit and the surface temperature is 10 million degrees Fahrenheit. How did they take those readings from 25 million miles away? We don't know the temperature of the core of our own planet, and we live on it. How are we taking readings of the sun from 25 million miles away? That's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Now, the next thing is the International Space Station and all of the pictures from it. If you believe that that's real, let me give you some information. Now, this is all common knowledge stuff. You can look it up on Google, or you can just go directly to nasa.gov and look it up on the official NASA government website, and it will tell you all of this information there. I will provide two screenshots for references so you can see where I'm getting some of this information so that you can see it, and then you could repeat the process if you would like later at your own convenience. So the next thing is if you go to nasa.gov and look at how far away the space station is from Earth, it will tell you it orbits at 250 miles above Earth. Okay, so it's 250 miles away. Now again, common knowledge, if you use any, I just blanked on the word. If you go GPS, if you use any GPS software, or Google Earth or Google Maps, anything really. You can just go to Google if you want, but you will find that Iowa, the state of Iowa in the United States, is ranges from 240 miles to 310 miles in width. So the International Space Station is actually less far from the Earth as Iowa is wide. Okay, so the shortest width of Iowa is about the same distance that the space station is away from the planet. Now, I have this handy dandy globe that I have brought out for a demonstration. The same kind of globe that they teach and use in schools, teach with and use in schools. Okay, now if we come to this globe, you can see right there, the little yellow one, that's Iowa, okay? Right there at the bottom of my finger. Now you can see it right there, okay? Now that's pretty small even compared to just this continent, right? Yellow right there. Now, compared to the rest of the planet, well, that's quite small. Now, another thing is I'm going to use this pin. See if you can see it better. There we go. I'm going to use the pin right here, and you can see it's got that little pin head. Now, I'm just using this as a reference, but it's not the best reference because I'm going to show you here why. So, right here you can see the east coast of the United States, and right here's New York, okay? So hopefully, I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. Now, as you can see, this pin is the size of the entire state of New York. All right? Sorry, no, I was on the wrong one. New York is the green right there. So that pin is what, like a tenth of the state, maybe a fifth of the state, something like that, but it's a good amount. It's obviously bigger than the entirety of New York City and its suburbs. So the International Space Station is going to be much smaller than the head of this pin, because it can't fit thousands of people, let alone hundreds of people. The space station is maybe, I would guess, maybe the size of a city block at the biggest. I mean, it's not even the size of a village. So keep in mind, this pin is not an accurate size comparison to the International Space Station. The International Space Station would be like a speck of dust. resting on this thing, okay? But now, let's put it in perspective. So I'm going to put this pin the same distance above the surface of the Earth as Iowa is wide. Okay, so that would be right there. Okay, so you can see it from the top, how wide Iowa is. So you can see I'm not just fucking with you. All right, so it's about that far above the surface. All right, and I keep in mind this head of this pin is, you know, bigger than the size of New York City and all of its suburbs. You have to realize the actual space station way smaller. And then the tiny little speck that is you on this space station, inside of the space station, taking a picture with your camera lens that's even smaller than that, would be like taking a picture from here. There's no possible way you can even see the edges of the planet, let alone the entire globe from this distance, 200 miles above Earth. Now, again, for visual reference, from that perspective, from a camera the size of like an electron, you think you can take a picture like this of the planet from the space station? Let that really sink in. Think about that. Use the brain that you were given. Use some of the uncommon sense. Use some logic, some general reasoning skills, and you'll come to the same conclusion. All these pictures that they're taking from the space station are complete nonsense. Complete nonsense. It breaks all of the laws of reality that NASA says are real. Every single one of them. Unless you can somehow bend light and make the camera lens get stuff that can't even be seen according to the laws of physics. According to NASA, after 3 kilometers, you lose Earth curvature. So how are you getting an entire planet from 200 miles above? Supposedly you can't even see the other side of Iowa from one side of Iowa to the other with the telescope. How are you seeing that far away? That's not physically possible. So if you still think that NASA can be trusted in anything that they say or do, after watching this, I don't really know what to tell you.